Okay. Hi everyone. This is our first attempt at doing a Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes stream for you guys. First of all, thank you for wanting it. When I put the message up on the Discord there, it was really cool to see everybody say, yeah, I want to see mods or other aspects of the game. So hopefully I've got something to show you guys which will be useful. Bear with me. Okay, that's much better. I am trying to figure out how to do this stuff. It's super difficult. Make a video sounds easy enough, but when you actually get into it, god damn. Alright, so first one's going to be about mods. How do you do mods? Okay, well, first thing we're going to look at is what's a waste of time when it comes to mods, and what's good when it comes to mods. So we're just in my roster here. We're going to just pick anybody, anyone that can have mods. You need to have a character that's minimum level 50 to be able to have mods equipped. And then we can click over here, and this is where we start messing with our mods essentially. Now there's two ways that we can mess with mods, and that's in this advanced window, or we can go to the basic window as well. The very first thing that you need to know about mods if you're very new to this is that you want to make sure that you are using only 5-dot mods. Anything less than a 5-dot mod is total trash, and we're just going to get rid of it. So as you can see on this mod here that I'm pointing to here, we've got arrow mod here, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dots there. That indicates to me that it's a 5-dot mod. You can see here if I go into the sell mods window, there's a lot of mods that I've got that are less than 5 dots. So these are all 3s, I've got a couple of 4s. And what we're going to do to free up space straight away in our mod inventory is select everything that's not 5-dot. And I do this from the very start of the game. You'll end up with a lot of these as you're going through your mod battles. Get rid of them all, get yourself a few extra credits. So you should only have 5-dot mods left. Now, if you really don't want to engage with mods at all, the first thing you need to consider is that that's going to hurt your gameplay. But if they're characters that you're not going to be using that often, you really just want to put anything on them so that they're out of the way. There's only two things you need to do, and that's hit auto assign. Okay. Right now I've already got auto assigned set on my character here, so we don't have to stress about that right now. The next thing you need to do is make sure that that mod is upgraded to level 15. So if I just go ahead and equip a mod here that isn't level 15, so we're back in our basic window now, and we can see here that all of my mods are level 15, except for this one here, which is level 3. So we're going to click on that, and we're going to click upgrade. And this allows us to now upgrade that mod's level. Okay? So at minimum, all of the mods that you want to do, you just want to slide that bar that you want to equip, you want to slide that bar all the way to the end so that it's level 15. Pay the cost that you need to for that, and then we're going to go through all this kind of stuff later. So now, we've got mods on there. They're all level 15 and they're all 5-dot. So that's your absolute basic. Now the next layer of modding that you need to consider is creating set bonuses. And creating set bonuses basically refers to, as you can see, these little images inside of the mods that we have here in all of these various shapes. We've got this little symbol in the middle. matches this one, matches this one. And these ones that say 2x here, they match, and then we've got a little target symbol in here, which doesn't really match anything else in here. So this is telling me that I have only one set bonus applied. The set bonuses for each character are going to be different. And the bonus that I get is for having these 2x mods, 2 of them in that set, so this makes a set of 2. And you can see the minimum set bonus that you get is a +4 to your critical chance, but once those 2 mods are upgraded to level 15, that becomes a +8 to my critical chance. Now, whilst it's not the primary thing you want to care about, by the way, this is all of the other different set bonuses that I could potentially make with different mod sets that I can do here. One of those will be offense here, which is the crit damage rather, which is the 4. So it's telling me I need 4 of the same set in order to get this crit damage set here applied as well. Now, obviously, having this guy here, which might be tenacity or something like that, is interrupting the potential set that I could have here for this additional critical damage. Now, if I go to auto assign, it's going to want to fix that straight away by putting the mod that I already had on there back. We equip that on, and you can see now I've got this additional little set bonus that lets me know that that set bonus is activated. And you can also see that because of these lines that connect to these mods into this little image here in the sort of center of the top, these yellow lines connect to all the different mods. You know that they're all activated within a set. So that's set bonuses. So that's why you need to know what this symbol is on the top. Okay, so that tells you what set your mod is in. Now, we're going to start getting into some of the more advanced properties about modding. What we're going to look at is toggling over to this advanced window. We have an inventory of our mods over here on the left. We have our character's stats here on the right. And in the center here, we have the current mod layout that we're using. We're going to click on the mod, and it's going to bring up its various stats that it has. So in this particular mod, we can see that its primary stat, which we're going to talk about first, is offense. And these underneath are all of its secondary stats. To refer back to the set that it's in, we should just be able to identify it here as offense. Yeah, here we go. So I got mixed up because the symbol for critical damage and for offense are practically the same. One's got an exclamation mark. So we have offense here in the set and offense here in the primary. This primary stat is basically going to tell you the major stat that this mod is going to add to for your character. And even though these are the same set, you can see that you can have different primary stats. Generally, you'll find that for these diamond-shaped ones like this, they're all going to be defense. Often these squares are offense. These arrows can really change to all different kinds of things. You can get speed primaries, protection primaries, critical avoidance primaries. It's different all the time. We've got a protection circle down here, and that's often what you'll find there. Offense on this plus symbol, but this can be various different things as well. So if we flick through, there's a protection, defense, tenacity, potency. So yeah, a lot of these other ones can be pretty much anything. We've got an offense primary stat here. Again, there's crit damage, defense, health. You can pretty much do everything you want. And so you can see here also that by clicking on the different shapes of these mods here that my inventory on the left hand side here automatically changes to just bring up the mods of that shape. So those are our primary stats. Our secondary stats are super important because this is where you're going to get the majority of your speed. And if you've spent any time on YouTube at all looking at Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes videos, or even if you've just been interacting in our Discord and chewing on this, you will know how important speed is just from hearing it around the shop. If you're not trying to max out the speed on your characters as much as you can, then you're really lacking the competitive edge that you will need to do well in the PvP aspects of this game, such as Grand Arena, Territory War, Squad Arena, etc. So this is where mods become important. So once we've identified that we've got our 5-slot mods, we've identified that we're putting together our sets properly the way that we want them, we've got our primary stats the way that we want them, we then look at our secondary stats and we want to make sure that there's speed in there all the time. Now, if I was going to look at this mod in particular, say I wanted to put a new mod in here actually, and these sort of are often how we get our mods in this grey sort of scale. I'm pretty sure this is called E. So if we go to filter here and I select E, yeah, E basically means that this is the first tier of mod. It's unsliced, or you can see in the gold mods here, it's unsliced once it becomes a 6-dot, right? So these are now 6-dot unsliced, and these are 5-dot unsliced. So if we go here, say we're wanting to assign a new mod, we often get our mods here at level 1. We don't know what secondary stats they have, as opposed to the mod that I've already got assigned here. You can see that it has all of its secondary stats. Now, the reason for this is that because this mod is upgraded to level 15, this mod here is not. This is only level 1. So, not every mod, and in fact you might find that most of the mods that you get will never have a speed secondary stat. You're going to have to go through a process that is a little bit arduous to find out whether this mod is going to even have a speed secondary stat or not. Now, the way that we do that is important because we can waste a lot of credits if you're just upgrading every single level 1 mod that you've got straight away up to 15 without caring about sort of unveiling the secondary stats one at a time. You're going to burn through your credits in no time if you're doing this all the time and trying to upgrade all your mods. So to be a little bit more conservative so we don't run out of credits, we're going to follow this little trick. Come down here and hit upgrade. It brings up the level 1 mod that I wanted to look at. We're going to unveil its secondary stats by essentially upgrading it 3 levels at a time. So we're just going to click on the plus symbol till we get to level 3 and hit upgrade, and you can see here that we've got 1 secondary stat now unveiled for this mod, and it's protection. So I'm going to keep going until I can find speed in increments of 3. So the next one would be 6, and beautiful, there we have it, speed right there. If I go again, 9, I get health. If I go again to 12, I've got another health. This time is an absolute figure rather than a percentage. So this is good. This is a mod we would keep. If speed came up on none of these and it was an offense plus symbol, then I personally would just ditch it, because these well, there's 3 things that you want to consider when you're going to ditch it. The first thing is, are there speed in the secondary? Alright? So if the answer was no to that, and we didn't get speed here, and say it was offense or something else, then that would be my first red flag to say, okay, this is a trash mod and it's probably going to go. The second thing I want to look at is a combination of the primary stat and the set. So this is an offense set, or no, this one's got the exclamation mark, so this is critical damage with offense. So if I am sort of familiar with my mod inventory and I know what mods I have for this particular shape, how many are in this set, and whether this is a rare primary stat for it or not, then this is the sort of second and third indicator that lets me know whether I'm going to keep this mod or not. So even if it doesn't have speed, it still could be an important mod if at this particular time my mod inventory is lacking in this particular type of mod between the set that it is, the shape that it is, and the primary stat that it has. So that being said, at level 13 we basically know whether we want to keep this mod or not. If you do want to keep it, I suggest you go ahead and do the final upgrade, which will give you a little boost to your primary stat there as well. Now that is for a level E. If we go back to the filter, this is a really good thing to learn how to use the filter window to be able to navigate through your mod inventory once you get more familiar with it. Just to make things a little bit easier and find exactly what it is you're looking for. We're going to look for D now, which is essentially going to bring up our green mods here. So if we go back down to the bottom and we look for a mod that isn't upgraded yet, we hit upgrade, you can see that it's already got one secondary stat as a tier D mod as opposed to the tier E mod. And that's simply because of the change in tiers, right? So with my tier E mod that we just upgraded before, I have essentially got 4 opportunities to slice that up through the rest of the tiers, and each time I slice it, I'm going to get a boost to one of those secondary stats. Now you saw there, I think we had about 4 speed or something like that in that tier E mod that we just upgraded and veiled the secondary stats for and stuff like that. What we would do with wanting to slice that is make sure that we're able to boost that secondary speed stat up as much as possible and hopefully get there somewhere between the numbers of, minimum 12, 13 to, anywhere up to 20, 22, hopefully. And, but if you were to slice that mod all the way up, so it was a yellow mod, like a tier A, and you didn't get any, additional speed to your secondary speed stat, then that stat would still be at 4. The mod would be totally upgraded before you take it to a 6 dot, which I probably wouldn't do at that point. And you'd be considering again whether it's a trash mod or not. So if it's all the way upgraded to that tier A, it's a yellow mod, 5 dot, still got 4 speed, I'd probably throw it in the bin as long as it's still fairly common in terms of the set and the primary stat and the shape in terms of what you have in your inventory. So let's just go through this process one more time for this tier D mod. So we've got 3 more secondary stats that we can unveil for this one. So we're going to go to level 3 and upgrade it. We've got health and offense now. We're going to go to 6, upgrade it. We've got critical chance. We've got 1 more chance, and beautiful, lucky last, we've gotten speed there at the end. Now, you've noticed that we've really only made it to level 9 so far. We still have an additional 3 levels that we can come up to go to 12, but we're not going to get an additional secondary stat because obviously we can only get a maximum of 4 secondary stats per mod. So what happens with a tier E mod when I take it to 12 and I upgrade it? I get a additional boost to my secondary stats. We got lucky here in that boost came to my speed, so you can see now there's a little 2 next to my speed, which means that has basically improved 1. So if 1 is like the baseline level that you can get that secondary stat at, once it goes up to 2, we know that that's the second level that'll come up to. If I take that all the way now, I'm going to get that boost to my primary stat, which is the offense in this case, to take it all the way. Awesome. So now I would continue to slice this if I had the materials to do so, which, yeah, we hopefully can just farm this real quick so that I can show you guys. Sorry. I've done a little misclick there. We can click off and bring up the entire mod inventory. We will go down to filter, and we were looking at a tier D mod. I think it was a plus shape, 15. Maybe it was a diamond shape. I think it was in this set here. Doesn't matter anyway, we can slice any of these ones here. So here we are in the slicing window. Here's the materials that I need to slice. You guys are probably familiar with farming these slicing materials so far and notice what they do essentially. So we're going to come over here. The last tier essentially of the mod battles section is where you're going to be able to finally farm these slicing materials. So when you first start the game and you unlock mod battles, you're basically just smashing your way through those as quickly as possible until you get up to that level 9 tier, where the only useful thing is going to be the ability to slice these materials, to farm these slicing materials. So what we're going to do is go ahead and hit sim on that. Here's our slicing materials now, so we should be able to go back. We have all the materials that we need to slice it, so we'll go ahead and slice this mod, and hopefully, if our RNGesus is with us today, it will go onto that speed. That's a negative for us today, unfortunately, so as I continue to upgrade this mod through the tiers, you can see that it's blue now at tier C. It's going to get less and less valuable to me if this speed stat doesn't increase. Okay. Now, for those of you out there who are looking at the set and going, yeah, but you know, it's got a speed set as well. So you've got a speed set with a speed secondary. That still could be a really good mod, even though there's not that much speed happening here in the secondary stat. And my answer to that is, unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. The sets really don't give us all that much to all that much boost to the bit that we're looking at. But you know, my theory is we obviously try to squeeze out as much as we can. So you want to put those sets together for that extra little bit, but it's not significant enough that it would affect my decision to keep this mod essentially, if I kept slicing it and we didn't get any extra speed out of this. Okay, so that is upgrading mods and slicing them. Again, if we go down here and we work on this one, we take it to 3, we take it to 6, we take it to 9. Here's a perfect example of a really common mod in a speed set. I'm always farming a speed set, and I'll show you where to farm your mods in a second. It's going to have a defense primary, as most of these sort of diamond shaped ones do. I've got no speed in here. This is a common mod. For me, it's trash. I'm never going to use it. I'm never going to equip it because it's never going to be a good, effective mod that's going to help my roster improve. So now I'm going to sell it. And it's gone. You don't get back all the credits that you make in upgrading it, unfortunately, but you do get a little bit back, which is good to know. So again, it's just being about as conservative as possible when it comes to going through your mods. And essentially what we're trying to do with this process is identify all of our mods that are good. So most of these ones that I have up here should all have speed sitting there ready to go for whenever I need to equip them to a character, when I'm developing a new squad, or I think it's time to revisit the mods on one of my old squads that I equipped a long time ago. And I will go through this process all the way down until I identify. You can see here that I've got some level 9 mods, level 6 mods, etc. So I've only sliced these enough to know whether they're going to have speed in the secondary, and if they do, then I move on until a time where I think I might need that mod later. So if I want to save my credits and not spend them upgrading it all the way to level 15, then I'll just move on, especially if I'm trying to get through this process quickly, because I'm pretty bad in that I don't like to do it all that often. But the more often you do it, the better your mod inventory is going to look and the better your game play is going to be. But you can see here that I have got a few lines of mods that are only level 1. I haven't identified whether they've got speed in their secondary stats here. So the process that I would do is to go down here, upgrade all of these mods in those 3 level increments until I identify whether there's speed in its secondary, or if there isn't speed in the secondary, whether I've looked at those other variables and determined whether it's a mod that I'm going to keep or not. Once I've made that decision, I sell all those mods, I empty my inventory, and then I go back to farming. I want to be continuously emptying my inventory of trash mods, refarming good mods, and hopefully when I do the refarming of those good mods, I get, refarming of new mods rather, I can then go through the process to see if they're going to be good, and it's a rinse and repeat situation essentially. So let's look at farming. Bear with me. Here we go. So, let's have a brief look at mod battles. Now, this is where not to farm your mods. As I was saying before, when you first unlock this mode in the game, which I think happens around about the first time you upgrade a character to level 50, you get automatic access to this. You're going to have to start making your way through all these different tiers of the mod battles. Again, these are all of the rewards you're getting from every single one of these tiers are total trash mods. All of them are 1, 2 dot mods. They are all crap. So anything that you get from here is just going to be automatically sold. Once you get up to here, this is where you can see now that the rewards are these slicing materials, and we absolutely need these in order to slice our 5 dot mods up and increase those secondary speed stats and all those other stats obviously as well. That all matter, but they're not as important as speed. So that's mod battles. Now, the next window over here is mod challenges, and this is where you're going to do your primary mod farming. You can see here that we have all of the different sets, so these things here refer to the sets that you can get, and then in here you can choose to farm. You've got 3 different tiers. If we look at the possible rewards here, we can see that I can get mods of all of these different shapes from tiers E to C to a maximum of 3 dots. Okay, so we know that tier 1 is not going to be optimal for us. Again, tier 2, the maximum I'm going to get is a 4 dot mod of some sort of shape in this defense set. Once I get to tier 3, I finally start being able to farm these 5 dot mods. So I've got a little bit of energy here, crystals rather, that I can refresh my energy for. Now I know for my inventory in particular, I mean everybody's inventory is going to have plenty of health mods, because throughout all of the other aspects of the game you're going to just be thrown health mods like they're going out of fashion. Defense mods, I find that I always have plenty of those as well. The main ones that I look to farm are critical damage, critical chance, offense occasionally. Again, these are pretty common, but offense and speed are 2 of my favorite sort of stats that I like to have, so I try to keep that open. And this is the big one here. If you can get some secondary speed stats on some speed set mods, then putting together like a 4 mod speed set, each one of those mods having speed in their secondary stat can really start boosting your character speed up quite a lot. So we'll go into here. In order to sim these battles, I need to make sure that I've beat them previously through actually having battled the tier and completed it flawlessly, in the way that I haven't lost a character. One of my characters hasn't died throughout the battle, and that's when this fills up to 3 stars and I'm able to use the sim function here. If I did lose one character, it would go down to 2, and if I lost 2 or more characters, it would only be unlocked at 1 star, and at 1 and 2 stars, I don't have the ability to be able to sim these battles. So you need to make sure that you get strong enough that you can come in here and towards the end here, when you get to these speed battles, when you're first starting the game, it can be quite difficult to beat these battles at first. So, and the irony of it is, unfortunately, that you're going to have to probably upgrade some 3-4 dot mods to be able to equip those to your characters, so that you can get here and farm the 5 dot mods. But then as soon as you are able to farm the 5 dot mods, you're definitely going to rip off all those smaller dot mods and throw them away, just because you don't want them anywhere in your inventory because they are cancer. So we'll go here and we'll sim a bunch of speed mods here, and here we are. We've got our brand new set of 5 dot speed mods. All of these are going to be sitting in my inventory now, waiting for me to essentially level them up in those increments of 3 to determine if they've got those speed secondary stats. This one here is going to go straight in the bin once I see it in my inventory there, like we did at the start of the video. Okay guys, so I'm pretty sure my Jedi have some reasonable mods on them at the moment. Not amazing. This is my alt account, so I have basically spent this account learning how to do mods for myself, which has been a process. There's so much to learn about it. If you're watching this video and you're thinking, oh my god, and it's just it's too much information all at once, then relax. You know, just I did it one aspect at a time. I knew I wanted to focus on having good secondaries first, and I didn't care about anything else. So I just looked at the secondaries, and I know I want speed in my secondaries, and then I was, you know, organizing my mods via that. And then I started going, okay, now that I'm across secondaries, let's start thinking about primaries, and let's start thinking about the sets that they fit in, and then let's start thinking about the shapes that those sets all align to, and those secondaries and primaries align to, and all that kind of thing. With 6 dot mods, again, once you've got a fully upgraded 5 dot mod, you can then slice a 5 dot mod to become a 6 dot mod, and what that's going to need is this piece here, the Mark II pulse modulator. This is going to come through various aspects throughout the game. So if we just have a look here, I can farm it in various stores. This is my favorite place to get it here, and if I do have some spare currency in that guild token, I think it is, then that's definitely one of the places that I look to get these modulators. I will also get them here occasionally. This is the shard store. So if we go over to the shard store, any extra shards that I get for a character that I've already leveled up to 7 stars will be converted into this currency here. And then this is a place that I can come and hit that and basically increase my inventory of these Mark II pulse modulators. Other than that, the other stuff is much more easily farmable. So if I wanted to go here, 10 speed's not too bad, it's not great, but if I continue to upgrade this mod once it's a 6 dot through another 4 tiers of slicing, then perhaps that speed will get better. These two guys here, again, just from your mod battles at that tier 9, we can come in here and we can sim that when we've got energy to farm up that material. And then once we've got enough of that, we can hit that, slice it. Everything will be upgraded, the primary stat and all of these secondary stats, by about 1 point, or the equivalent for percents. And from there, you've basically hit the reset button and you can start slicing it again all the way through to, if we look at Padme, hopefully I've got a higher level mod on her here. So this is a primary speed stat here on my arrow. I've decided to level this one up here for her. It's in the speed set. with a speed primary, and it's got some good defense, health, and protection, all that stuff. That's really good for Padme. You can see here I've only got one more tier for a final slice to continue to boost these secondary stats here. Keep in mind that slicing all the way through your 6-dot tiers here will not increase your primary stat. Once you have essentially upgraded that mod to level 15 and then slice it up to a 6-dot mod, that's the highest that your primary stat is going to get. Anything from there is always focusing on your secondary stat. Okay, this is sort of coming towards the end of the game a little bit more. The main thing you want to focus on is your 5-dot mods. Okay, very last thing I want to show you here now, guys, is basically our Modbot that we have in Discord in Chewy on Dis. So if we come down here and we go to our bots channel, this is a really great tool that you guys can use in this guild in order to basically know what mods you want to put on what characters, because as you know, each one of the characters has different roles, right? We have tanks in the game that really need to have a lot of health and protection and defense, things like that, which are going to make them last long and be able to take a lot of hits. We have attackers that are going to want things like critical chance, critical damage, offense, definitely speed on those guys so that they're attacking as often as possible. You know, we have supports that might want things more like potency. They're probably going to want things like defense and offense, defense and health and stuff like that as well, etc. So there's a lot of different things that you need to consider when you're thinking about what mod should go on what character. So it's really simple. What I want you guys to do to take it out of your mind completely is come over to the mods channel, and I want you to put this little symbol in here. Now that I'm here, I think I've forgotten the thing. Usually you can scroll back up and find out, but I think it's going to be that. And say I want to do it for my GeoBrood Alpha. I type his name in like that, and beautiful, there we go. So it's this kind of little colony thing here, M, and then I wanted to look at Geonosian Brood Alpha, so I just typed in GeoBrood Alpha here, and then it gives me an outline of exactly what his recommended mod set would be. And it does it in all of the things that we want to know, except for the secondaries. So, sets, they're recommending that we do a speed set with 4 mods, and a tenacity set with 2 mods. So you can go ahead and when you're selecting through your mods, make sure that your sets make up speed and tenacity. And then when you're looking at the primaries, when you're looking at your square shape mod, you know you're looking for offense. When you go for your arrow mod, you want a speed primary. When you go for your diamond, you want a defense. When you go for a triangle, health, etc, etc. Now, the one thing that the bot won't do for you here is tell you about those secondaries, like I said, but the main thing that you want to do is go speed in as much or if not all of them. And you can also look at what they're asking for between the sets and the primaries and go, okay, well, these things might be important to the character. Think about what their actual role is as well within the squad. And, you know, cover whatever bases you think need to be covered with those secondaries if you have the inventory to be able to be choosy when it comes to that kind of thing. So personally for Geonosian Brood Alpha, I would look to sort of have some potency in his secondaries as well because of his ability that can apply expose. Definitely some more speed. Speed on this guy is a great thing, especially if you haven't put the Zeta on his unique yet in order to get his little 6th Geonosian tank brought up. Definitely a Zeta you want to have straight away, but before I get off topic, speed's a great thing for him as well. But let's have a look at another example here. So if I go here, say my Padme mods are looking a little bit out of date now. I go little colony thing, M, Padme, whack that in. I've probably spelled Padme wrong. Maybe I spelled it right. I thought I would have spelled it right. Let's try somebody else. Let's go Anakin. Alright, awesome. So it's brought me up the sets, primaries, basically mod guidance for essentially what would be good to apply to Anakin. And again, always hitting that speed as much as we can in the secondaries. Okay guys, this pretty much brings us to a close now. This was my very first video for you guys. It was a bit long-winded. It's a pretty heavy topic to get into for the first one, but because people were asking for it, I thought we better hit that first. Maybe I'll come back and hit it again when I'm a little bit more experienced at doing this, but hopefully there was some information in here that is useful to you. If there was, just whack a like on it. Feel free to leave me any feedback as well. Let me know if the music was too loud or if you could even hear it or whatever. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Let's figure out how to stop this shit.